Tulsa really takes to the air. It's surrounded by a whole chain of fine airports all around it. For instance, on the north side, there's an airport called, of all things, the Tulsa North Airport. And here's a young man all full of breakfast on Sunday morning going out to have a little flying lesson. While he's driving out there, let's fly over Tulsa North Airport. Here it is from the air with its hangar space, storage space, business office, and a few planes. Enthusiasts are coming out to get some early flying in. Yep, there's the sign, Tulsa North Airport, and in just a minute you'll see our, there's our tubby friend in his car coming out to have a flying lesson. Looks like a great day for it, doesn't it? He parks and meets Mr. Art Coble, who operates Tulsa North Airport, and also his flight instructor, who is evidently kidding him about something he's used to doing. They go out and they'll presently take off in this Cub on the left there. In the meantime, you can look down the flight line and see some more of the planes and people who are out at Tulsa North Airport this morning. That young fella in the T-shirt there gets a lucky spin on the Cub, and they're just about ready to go off. While they're taxiing into position, I want you to meet Mr. Art Coble face to face. I wanted him to take off the hat, but nope. Aviators always wear those hats. Here's the takeoff of that Cub. Short run, and the young fellow's up in the air. While he's up in the air, he'll undoubtedly fly over some more of Tulsa's fine airports. For instance, on the south side, here's Commercial Airport. This is operated by Marvin Sullinger and has complete service and repair facilities, as well as a group of flying schools. Here's a Tulsa family that are going on a trip. How do I know? I read the script. They come up to the hard stand, and pretty soon Mr. L.M. Dresser and his son and daughter will get out and have a little breakfast, get the plane service, talk to Marvin Sullinger, and be all ready for a long, long trip up to Detroit. See, what'd I tell you? You can't fool me. I've read it. There's Mr. Dresser. He's met by Marvin Sullinger, who operates the airport, meets the family. They talk about the weather. That's what pilots always do, you know, talk about the weather. The fellow in the white suit there is named Willie. Willie knows all about servicing airplanes, but Mr. Dresser tells him what to do anyhow. And they talk about more weather. Must be boring to be a pilot. But a lot of Tulsans seem to be taking it up day after day. The flying schools are having more business. Well, they'll go off for breakfast, too. In the meantime, let's look at some of the repair facility at Commercial Airport. These boys are giving a plane a rub down and a little motor tune-up. These two are giving another ship a two-motor job, a new coat of paint. And how do you like that bright orange color? Wow. Yep, I was right. It was breakfast. They're going into the Log Cabin Inn, where you can get fine food all day long if you like to eat that long. When you come out to spend the day flying, they've got everything you need from dawn till dusk. One of the flying schools at Commercial is the Thunderbird Flying School. Mr. J. McCamey is the proprietor, and here he's giving a group of girls a lesson. I believe one of these young ladies is going to try her ability at spinning the prop here. Watch that form and that red hair. Here's another one just about ready to take off. Mr. McCamey's going to see that she's fastened in safely and give her a last-minute list of do's and don'ts that she'll probably forget. And here's another one of the fine flying schools at Commercial, the Gleason Flying Service. That's Mr. Gleason on the left there. He's explaining to his class what the instructor is explaining to a student in the plane. It sounds very complicated, I know, but it isn't really. You see, you just hold your hand like that, and something moves. It's really that easy. That's the wheel he's wiggling there. The Lee and Combs Flying Service is operated by Mr. Lee and Mr. Combs. Imagine that. And here they are with a group of their students. Students are seated on the grass on a fine sunny afternoon. Two of them are in the plane, and Mr. Lee and Mr. Combs are both taking turns instructing them. Everything seems to work all right, doesn't it? Note the age groups in this group. Practically grandpas and grandmas on down to boys and girls in school. All Tulsans seem to be learning to fly these days, and they love it. The Southwestern Flight Incorporated is a service institution at Commercial Airport. Hello there. Hey, look at the smile I got there. Oh, and look at that one. If those girls come with the plane, I think we'll have lots of sales. You'll have to get on now, girls. Willie's going to service that plane, too. Willie's having a busy day, isn't he? There he is. He's talking to his boss, Bruce Badger. Or his boss is talking to him. Everybody tells Willie what to do. And Willie knows. The Tulsa Flying Service specializes not only in beginning students, but also in advanced students. Here's a young fellow who's taken a 2-motor license. And his instructor there, one of the operators of Tulsa Flying Service, has given him the once-over about what does he know about props. You think it's a lot of prop wash? Well, you should hear this. These are the 2 owners of the Tulsa Flying Service. They seem to be agreeing about something, don't they? No, she doesn't have a license. She's just refueling here. Well, you see, the Dresser family is all ready to shove off on their trip. They've had breakfast. They've had the plane serviced. Willie opens the door for them. Isn't Willie courteous? And they'll pretty soon be off. Shut the door, Willie. Thank you. Yep. She's perking now. Goodbye, Mr. Dresser. Let's look at that takeoff. Pretty good pilot, huh? A mile north and a mile east of Commercial Airport is the Brown Airport, operated by a Mr. Brown. Imagine that. Here it is from the air, and here it is from the ground. Brown Flying Service. Mr. Brown operates a flying school as well as the airport, and I believe 2 of his young pupils are coming in now for a lesson. Yep, there's Mr. Brown coming out to meet him. Say, Mr. Brown, would you take off your hat, please? Thank you. Tough to get a flyer to take his hat off. Now we'll go back to the girls. Little chit-chat. How are you, Mr. Brown? Just fine, just fine. Maybe you better help her out, Mr. Brown. There it is. Oops, it's locked. There. I was right. She's going to school. Flying school, that is. And here's the whole class, and she's about to be helped into the plane by her instructor. Large class of students at Brown Flying School. The airport, of course, has plenty of mechanical and service facility. Here's the main hangar at Brown with young gentlemen there working on the motor, or is it the engine? Or if you're a flyer, it's the power plant of the plane. And this gentleman's doing the same for another plane, a Cub. Another school that operates at Brown Airport is the Tulsa School of Aeronautics, operated by Mr. Ray Testerman. Here's one of his instructors, Gary Noble. He's in the glasses, giving a lesson to a young lady and a young gentleman. Here's part of the flight line at the Testerman School on Brown Airport. Everything from P-38s on down to Cubs. And of course, plenty of service. These trucks are at the airport all day long to offer the finest in gas and oil to flying enthusiasts. Here's a P-38 about to get gassed up. Ray Testerman also offers service facility. Here are some of his mechanics working on a 2-motor job. There's upholstery going on there, if you can see it, and also the lad in front working on the radio. Another school that will soon be in full operation is the Lowe Automotive Incorporated. And at Brown, yes, you can get meals if you like. There's a fine cafe, and they serve excellent food. You can come out and fly all day and have 3 meals right there. Do you recognize that? That's the runway pattern at Tulsa Municipal Airport. A familiar sight, I know. This airport is the home, as far as Tulsa is concerned, of 4 major airliners. And it's also the home of Spartan School of Aeronautics. Spartan School, maybe you don't know it, is the largest land-based institution of its kind in the country. Here's its meteorological building and instrument building. Here's a fine cafeteria and drugstore. And here are barracks that house the students from out of town, and a good many of them there are. They, of course, have complete mechanic schools and repair facility. This particular repair hangar is well over 3 blocks long, but I didn't think you'd want to walk it or even look it. So we'll change the scene and hop over to Spartan's flight line. Here's the 2-motor job. The pilot and instructor are getting ready for a test spin this morning. You can see other planes of the Spartan line in back of them there, planes of all types. And of course there's plenty of gasoline and motor oil service at Spartan too. This truck has just finished servicing a Piper Cub, and you'll soon see the instructor and his pupil wind it up and get ready to take off. Yep, he made it good. Now he'll get in and lace it up, and they'll soon be off for a nice spin. Wouldn't you like to go with them? Well, I'm sorry we can't go. We have other things we have to look at just now. Tulsa Municipal Airport offers, of course, service facilities for privately owned planes as well as the airlines I told you about. Here's an American airline flagship. I believe that's the Kalamazoo, getting all fixed up for a trip. Yes, there's the boys putting the baggage in the nose. Gasoline, motor oil, thorough check. Safety first, you know, with all airlines. Yes, there's the gas going in. We'll look at it from the back side. After the gas, well, passengers are next, and you'll soon see the plane take off. More of the service facilities at Municipal Airport. Gasoline and oil. These trucks are here all day long to service the planes. Yours too, if you have one there, you know. Mid-Continent operates from Municipal Airport. Here's a flight that has just come in. The passengers will soon be getting off. A coat in this weather, lady? You won't need it in Tulsa. There's the service already started on the nose of the plane. And the hostess. She's a pleasant sight. There's the flight about ready to take off. Continental operates here, too. A flight has just come in. And there goes the boy with the papers. Hiya, sailor. All the passengers coming off. I think I'll stick around, though. I think we'll see another stewardess. Yeah, here she is. She has dimples, too, did you notice? The Braniff B-liner. Flight just in. What do they carry in those briefcases? I've always wondered. Here are the passengers. Shall we wait for a stewardess this time? Hope we get a blonde. Well, if we did, you'd think I'd read the script, wouldn't you? Hi. Hiya. Well, here's the takeoff. And it's time for my takeoff, too, so goodbye now and good flying.